going to get in trouble for not having the right credentials. And so we used to do that. That was our vetting. But they were screened by Africans, by their own people, not by Americans. And that was one of the things that made this a very unique program. So anyway, to a student, to a person, I think they feel that this was quite historic.